20 yards away. Last night, Xavier Worthy did half of that. So, Mr. Graziano, to our right, has made himself famous for his overreactions. And there's no better day to overreact than after the first game of the season.
Must be a name thing.
But I'm going to do it. Xavier Worthy makes the Kansas City offense unstoppable. This will be the most dynamic offense.
Pacheco, who's a hard, tough runner. They have a lot of different ways to come at you. Last year, they didn't have the speed element. This year, they appear to have the speed element. You know that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid know what to do with it. It's dangerous. But no, I'm not putting him with the Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, you know.
I think you forget Josh Allen's divisional playoff round day in Kansas City. He was absolutely phenomenal. Gabe Davis goes crazy.
4 touchdowns.
They throw a dig to Tyreek Hill in two-man.
Which doesn't happen.
And he gets out the gate. It's the level of explosivity of that offense is so different to me from anything we've ever seen because of Patrick. But I think this one cannot be as explosive, but it can be better. It can be more sound. When I watched Patrick Mahomes operate last night, it's like, man, it's so easy to him. And we had Jason Kelsey on the show this week on the Pivot, and he was
covered the fastest person on the field. And I think because of the creativity of Andy Reid with Matt Nagy and Patrick, now you have, here's the thing, last year, this team offensively had to play in like a phone booth. They couldn't stretch you horizontally, and they couldn't stretch you vertically. They now, with Xavier Worthy, can stretch you and will horizontally and stretch you vertically. And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for defenses.
One big thing that you brought up there that I think we've really overlooked is Andy Reid and his ability to get Xavier Worthy touches early in the game. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to go to Xavier all day long, but they gave him the around, he had the shallow, and then also that broken play, giving his first-round pick some confidence that you really need in situations. That is Andy Reid in a nutshell, man. He puts his guys in great opportunities to be successful.
Let me remake my case, because in no way am I disrespecting Tyreek Hill either.
Like
I'm not suggesting Xavier Worthy is going to be as good as Tyreek Hill.
You're saying Patrick is
I'm saying Patrick is better. I'm saying this is a totally different version.
55 touchdowns.
I understand. And he did it not even knowing what he was doing. He just had the most ridiculous weapons of all time.
So talented, though. But I want to ask about this, right? Can we start talking about Agnola? Can we talk about Andy Reid and Matt Nagy versus Zach Orr? Because a lot of this game came down to that as well. Think about the first 15, and that's when the Baltimore Ravens were able to score their touchdown. We saw Lamar Jackson execute from the pocket 2 times in a way we didn't see throughout the rest of the game. He hits Isaiah Likely on a little sail route, and earlier on he hits Zay Flowers on a triple 3-by-1 dig. Right? We didn't see that again the rest of the game. Everything else from the Baltimore Ravens offense was sort of snap the ball, let things play out, Lamar Jackson go be the best player on the field. We thought we were getting away from that. We were supposed to be moving into the second year of this relationship where they understood one another. For 3 quarters, it looked like they had never practiced anything.
I agree. There was a frantic element to the game for Lamar.
Right, or it looked like they didn't trust the offensive line, which they probably don't because it's not all the way together yet. And when we talked about the Ravens this offseason, we pointed this out. A lot of change. 3 new starting offensive linemen. And you mentioned Zach Orr. 32-year-old, that last night was his first game ever as a defensive coordinator, defensive play caller. They've developed him. They think he's going to be great. But his predecessor, Mike McDonald, who's now the coach of the Seahawks, was awesome last year. And like his defense was the best in the league last year. His defense was the one that won the national title for Michigan, right? Didn't he build that before he, right?
But speaking of whirly-bird, Lamar Jackson on that last throw is doing the whirly-bird in the pocket because whoever designed that play said, Justice Hill, all 4'11" of you are going to single you up on the single most dominant interior rusher in all of football right now. Lamar Jackson goes, I was trying to protect Justice. That's not what he should be doing. Justice should have been served, and it was not on that play.
To be clear, he means Justice Hill. Get in on trending parlays in ESPN Bet's all-new Parlay Lounge. Plus, as the official sportsbook of ESPN, it is the only place to find exclusive parlays and offers from your favorite ESPN shows and personalities.
Be said, other than if that was any other quarterback, we would be killing them. We have to hold Lamar to that same type of standard.
I feel like we've had this conversation on this show about Josh Allen a million times. They would never have been in the game if it hadn't been for all the different things he did.
We did against Kansas City in the playoff game last year when he got stepped on and wanted to throw a 40-yard perfect throw.
No, but much nicer to Josh.
Because he got stepped on.
Dan. Don't you dare.
Do you want to remember that?
Don't
No,
you
but
dare.
Tell him that.
Daniel, don't you do that.
That's crazy. You flip-flop like that.
Don't you do that. You definitely weren't. We got to hold them accountable when we were talking about Josh Allen. Right? Because you don't want people in Bills Mafia jumping off tables because they mad at me this week anyway. You don't want that. But Josh Allen, there were excuses made. I agree. It may have been different. But I was the same way about Josh Allen. I don't care about all you do to get your team to that point. The difference between Patrick Mahomes is when his team gets to that point, 9 times out of 10, he makes the play. And we've seen it over and over and over. And so if Lamar Jackson, who's a 2-time MVP, who if you ask me if he could be my quarterback, I'd take him every single day.
Agree.
He has to make that play. I'd say that if he was playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. I'd say that if he's playing against the Buffalo Bills. I'd say that if he's playing against the Carolina Panthers. Because when you are one of
what the other guys do, and Patrick Mahomes can't influence what Lamar Jackson does.
Right.
But
you're playing
you
for second
remember,
place.
well, not only that, but everyone, they just did a little too much when they're playing against Tiger. It just gets in their head. Lamar Jackson completes one of those 2 balls in every other game of his life. And somehow, in this game, it doesn't.
I agree, and RC kind of said it before. It's that moment where he just tries so hard to complete those throws, and just the throw to Rashad Bateman, the throw to Isaiah Likely before, those are more difficult throws. I would say much more difficult throws, but he puts him in the only place that those guys can go make plays.
offended Lamar Jackson. I believe you have to make those plays every single opportunity you get him.
Right.
I believe Bryce Young, who didn't play well at all last year, makes that throw.
Sure.
Taylor,
I
what's the
believe
right
he
thing
makes
to
that
say?
play.
What's the
You're
right
gonna put me in the middle of this right now? You're gonna put me in the middle of this fight?
You're new to the media. Enjoy it. Here's the question. Here's the question. When a quarterback runs for 122 yards, throws for 273 yards against a great defense, and single-handedly has his team in the game, and then when the moment is there to win it, he doesn't make the plays at the very finish, what are the right things to say the next morning?
Well, the right thing to say is he has to make those plays, but it's important. I think everyone's done a great job here of saying that Lamar Jackson is the reason why they're in the game at the end.
Totally.
So he did everything to put them in a situation to be successful. RC had a great reference to, was it like murdering a baby? Were you holding the baby too tight?
No,
Something like that?
Squeezing
the baby.
Let's not say murdering.
Yeah, you're right.
Baby.
Can't say
Okay.
murder. We're live
Right.
television.
Right.
I am saying, however, that the moment he sees a guy wide open and kind of just holds it a little too tight and throws it there, yes, he needs to make those throws.
Let me get Kraz in.
The margins in the league are so small, right? Like AFC Championship game, as bad as they were, still if Flowers doesn't fumble, right? Maybe they haven't. So like this is the Lamar Jackson
has this huge impact on what teams are doing. But you remember when he and Dame Lillard went head-to-head, and it got emotional. He couldn't make a shot, right? Everything he was trying to aim, every time he was open, it was hitting the back of the iron. It wouldn't go in. And what did Dame Lillard do? At the end of the game, Dame Lillard sidestepped, shot the 3, and he hit us with the right. That's
Look at his watch.
Right. That's the difference right now between Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. He can do so much, and he did so much last night. And it's almost that you feel bad killing him about those 2 throws because of what he did. But that's the position. If I play lockdown defense at the cornerback position the entire game, and then I give up a deep ball in the 2-minute drive, I'm wrong.